Now, this happened right in the church after a vigil. Because we have been trained to keep quiet, we have been trained not to talk. If you talk, they'll be like, oh, you're carnal, you're not spiritual. There are a lot of things that... Okay, calm down. Because I've had my own fair share of it. Is it this thing that we have sisters program and everything they're discussing in sisters program is just marriage? Let it stop. And he later came back after he blocked me. He later unblocked me on Facebook and came back and sent me a message which I'll be showing you here still, that he was trying to just catch cruise. You're trying to catch cruise with the topic of marriage. After the things I personally experienced in church, I will always say, people think I'm crazy, but that will always be my truth. The church is like a hospital, and there are people who are mad. I mean, there are people who are literally psychopaths. There are people who are pedophiles. There are people who, like, everybody you see in church has a flaw, myself included. I have my own personal flaw, right? And there are people whose flaws is that they desire children, men who love to sleep with young girls, small girls, and they are still in church. And this is what I'll always tell ladies: stop being gullible. Because this person came in the name of the Lord doesn't mean you should throw yourself at him. This has happened to me. I was almost deceived because someone came in the name of the Lord. This story I'm to share with you is a real life story, and it really hurt my heart that typing it will not work, but I'm going to still be showing you a screenshot for you to also see how long it is. This person, a couple of days ago, I think around a week plus now, I made a post on Facebook. How did it start? It started by a particular person chatting me up on Facebook. It's fine that, hey, you don't know I am married. Of course, it's fine. I don't look married. I don't have a ring. I didn't even change my Facebook status to married. But I think if you really have interest in someone, like something very serious, you should do your little background research about this person that you are quite interested in. So when he chatted me, and I'm like, okay, if he had asked me, what's your relationship status? Are you in a, I would have answered. I have been doing that for other persons. But he just came in straight. I'm going to post the screenshot here. And he asked me for my number, and he said he's coming for marriage. You don't know me. I do not know you. We have never met in person. He just followed me. You know, I found that quite weird. I think I explained it in one of my videos. The link will be up here or somewhere here. So last time I checked, we have surpassed 37 women that this guy has used the same tactics. And he later came back after he blocked me. He later unblocked me on Facebook and came back and sent me a message which I'll be showing you here still, that he was trying to just catch cruise. You're trying to catch cruise with the topic of marriage. You're trying to catch cruise asking sisters to come and stay in a hotel. You're trying to catch cruise. But that's not my story. Why I had to make reference to this is because this person is still in the church. Sadly, he worships with me in the same church, not the same branch, but like we go to the same home church. After that particular incident that happened, I started getting a whole lot of different messages from different sisters with this same guy, and then with other brothers. A sister showed me a screenshot of a guy who duped her, and she was not the only person he has duped. He has a track record of duping a lot of sisters, and even his family are so disappointed in him. Another sister stood like a lot of screenshots, but the one story I want to share with you today is this particular sister who sent me an email. She's not my friend on Facebook. I think she saw the post somewhere and she didn't come into my inbox. She looked for my email address and she sent it to my email. It is sad that this is a church brother. In a video, I'm going to read it, and if it calls for me to like show you some part of the screenshot, I will blur out some names. All right, so please permit me. The email is super creepy long, so I need to turn my phone like this. She said, my story: I'm a person that loves attending vigils, both youth and general vigils. On a Friday night after vigil, everyone laid their mats to sleep. I was sleeping on a long mat with my other siblings. Was at the edge. Immediately I noticed a hand on my body touching and pressing my breast and wanting to go shift my undies. I immediately opened my eyes and the person stood up immediately and dashed off. I looked for my small techno phone, switched on the light, but I didn't see anyone. I was somehow afraid. I woke up my siblings that we should start going home. They refused because it was still dark outside. I have to stay awake till it was morning before we left home. This was someone who went for vigil, went to pray, and I'm sure this particular brother was also there to pray. Maybe not to pray, but to pray. P-E-R-E-P-R-E-Y, and not to P-R-A-Y. So this same thing happened again on a vigil. This time around, he wanted to put his mouth on my breast. I woke up but couldn't see this person. In the morning, we were leaving. One brother was calling me to come and meet him. That was when I knew it was him. Since then, I stopped going to vigil. I was traumatized and afraid. When all these were happening, I wanted to open up to my parents, but I was afraid they couldn't understand. Meanwhile, anytime I refused going for vigils, they always say I am in a kingdom. That's why I refuse going for vigils. Let me stop here for a moment and tell parents. Sometimes notice your child who used to love to do a particular thing, all of a sudden lost interest. Something is going on. Instead of yelling and saying that they are possessed, that we are possessed, or think that this person is crazy, try to call them close. Just try to call this your child, especially your daughters. Call them close. What's up? You can talk to me. I won't judge you. I won't beat you. This is why this generation of parents should stop hitting and smacking their children over every little thing. Let's continue. This led them taking me for deliverances, that I'm afraid of prayers. I was in pains that in my tears I cursed the brother that he would struggle all his life till he confessed. Maybe I'm not the first sister he has done that too. This incident happened she called the name of the church, and it's in Anambra State. Sadly, my state. Thank God for healing. I have healed and I've forgotten. It was actually your Facebook post about brothers that brought the experience back. Things are happening in vigils, and I wanted to share my story so young girls, young sisters will be careful, and parents will be vigilant too. Things are really happening. A whole lot of things are happening. Now, this happened right in the church after a vigil. Because we have been trained to keep quiet. We have been trained not to talk. If you talk, they'll be like, oh, you're carnal, you're not spiritual. There are a lot of things that... Okay, calm down. There are a lot of things that the church is not teaching us. There are a lot of things that, sadly to say, why do I have to point fingers at the church? I'm pointing fingers at parents, but I'm also pointing fingers at the church, because the church is an organization that has great authority. We respect words that come out from the church, from the men and women of God, from our ministers, our pastors, our brother leaders and sisters leaders. This is why people get dedicated, and every Sunday and weekly they are there in the church, because they believe in God. They believe in you who is speaking to them about God. This is why I have to point fingers at the church, at the ministers, at the sister leaders. It should stop. Okay, let me not say it should stop. I'm not trying to command people and tell them what to do. But you see this thing, because I've had my own fair share of it. You see this thing that we have sisters program, and everything they're discussing in sisters program is just marriage. Let it stop. What stops us from discussing? It is pathetic that I've met like some of the ladies who hopped on the Prinderman, our femininity coaching program. It is so pathetic that a lot of them do not even know what femininity is. When you talk about femininity, they say, oh, you're a feminist. They do not even understand what femininity is and what feminism on its own is, and who is now a feminist. These are basic knowledge. When you gather for sisters program, the brother leaders need to do better too. If our brothers are becoming douchebags, the sisters need to learn how to guide your heart. This is why the Bible said that the children of the world tend to be wiser and smarter than the children of God. What do? There is place for prayer. I am someone who will never stop talking about prayer. I used to be that person who is always like, see, it's not all about prayer. It's not all about prayer. But I've come to a point where I know, see this life gone is about prayer. The spiritual controls for the physical. When you're done, the Bible talked about we becoming wise, receiving all wisdom. All wisdom it wasn't just talking about salvation. It was not just talking about prayers. It was not just talking about the word. You have to be balanced salvation, balance the word, balance prayer, balance value. You live on earth. You have bills to pay. You have sexual needs. You're going to have sex one day. So when you do not have knowledge, you do not feed yourself or teach yourself on these knowledge that will help you on how to even control yourself until when it is right to have this sex, and even when you want to have this sex, how to do it. I don't know if anyone is even understanding what I'm saying. The church has a lot of work to do. Organize seminars. We normally have youth program. I attended most of the youth program in my church. We from Anambra State will travel all the way to Lagos for these youth programs. And whenever they want to talk about anything career or self-development, it does not exceed 20 minutes, and it is so shallow. But when they want to talk about marriage, they dwell so much in it. We have heard so much about marriage over the years. And sometimes to a point where we begin to get scared of getting married. There was a time I was so scared of getting married, because of the kind of knowledge I had about it, and because of the experience I've seen like people's life around me. Bring balance to the house of God. Teach your youth on finances. Teach your sisters on how to build themselves. Teach your sisters on relationships. There are several topics on self-growth, development, growth, change, working on your habits. I'm not yelling, I'm not screaming. Let me calm down. So what I'm saying is, this kind of person, this sister had to stop going for Vigil because she felt like, see, everyone thinks I'm possessed. And why she even stopped going for Vigil was because she was scared that this particular brother in the Lord is still going to find a way to repent. Now, who knows what he's doing to other younger children? And when they find things like this out, they try to hide it. Let's stop hiding evil. If you're a woman watching me here today, stop covering for these evil people. Just have it at the back of your mind. If you do not take anything out of today's video, know that the church is a hospital. We have a lot of crazy people there, a lot of mad people there. We still have a lot of people who have been healed. We still have a lot of people whose sicknesses and ailments or symptoms are not even as worse as these persons. Okay, just calm down. So I hope this video helps someone. If it does, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share. And then let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But above all, sis, work on yourself. Work on yourself. Really, really. I don't know why there are some things I really do not want to say on this particular video. I've had my own share of some of these things, and it hurts me. Like it triggers me whenever I see men trying to take advantage of sisters, of ladies, because we love the Lord, because we are church girls. Let's stop being gullible sisters. Wake up. This is where I'm going to end it. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask in the comment section, or you can follow my social media handles and ask me there. I'll always be there to respond to you. Also, don't forget to check up on all of our podcasts, the podcasts that we have been releasing and uploading all this while. Please take time to go through them and watch. You will learn a lot. And some sisters una no go want to learn. Una no go na to make just the point at brothers, but for you to develop yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, like, I'm not angry. I'm like angry. Whenever I see myself getting to this point, I remember what my dad used to say. See, he said, Ifeoma, it's not as though you are trying to yell at people. It's just that you have this commanding authority. There's this tone, there's this authority in your tone, and you need to put it to control, which is what I'm trying to do, to put it to control. God bless you, and see you in the next video. Bye.